We're about to go live.
Okay. Is it being recorded, Madam Mayor?
Yes, it'll be recorded and put straight onto my YouTube channel.
Okay, thank you.
We're about to go live.
So I'm on.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first of these amazing interviews of the new year. Happy New Year to all of our loyal watchers. Today we have an interesting story because first time we've got more than one interviewee. Oh, I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves. Over to you.
Okay, yeah, my name is Naseer Zafar, and I'm a member of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. And my designation is as regional Amir, which is as the regional president of South Region. And South Region is a part of Croydon, most of Croydon, Bromley, Lewisham, Bexley, and Greenwich. And I have been appointed by the central president, Mr. Rafiq Hayat, who is called Amir of UK. And this is my 4th year as a regional Amir. And my base is Baitul Subhan Mosque in Croydon.
Thank you so much. And Khaleel?
Yes, well, I'm a lowly external affairs secretary for the Norbury side of Croydon. Each area, like Croydon, for example, is split into 10 other areas, as it were, and everyone has various secretaries within that: external affairs, communication, whatever, and they're all in charge of getting in touch with the local people and the local councillors and the local mayors, if you like. So in this case, it would be just yourself and the local MPs. So within the greater Croydon area, for example, we've got 3 MPs. I deal with Steve Reed very much because he's part of the Thornton Heath Norbury area.
Brilliant. Thank you both so much for introducing yourselves. I've asked the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association to come and do one of these interviews because during my time as mayor and deputy mayor, I cannot express highly enough how supportive and amazing they've been. My first ever speech that I gave as deputy mayor was done at one of their amazing events, and but I'm sure in more detail we'll come on to that later today. It's going to be the first of a series of interviews with faith leaders around the borough, leading up to what obviously people will be aware is Holocaust Memorial Day coming up very soon. And we'll probably do a special programme about that at a later date. Mm-hmm. Right, so I'm going to take us quite smoothly-ish, onto our first question, which is, many people have heard of your community, but they don't know a lot about it. So do you want to tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yes, Madam. Okay.
Okay, Khaleel?
Oh, goodness me. I thought Amir Saab was going to say a few words to start off. But, okay, basically, we are the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in Islam. We were founded in 1889 by the man that we believe to be the promised Messiah and Mahdi. Promised Messiah as prophesied by Jesus and Prophet Muhammad, may God's peace be on him. He professed to be the promised Messiah. He gave many hundreds of prophecies and revelations, and he, if you like, tied in with what the sayings of the Holy Prophet were. And his task was to reinvigorate the true teachings of Islam, not what the world believes Islam to be, but what it was in the origins during the Holy Prophet's time and as he taught it. So we started then. Our first missionary, as far as the UK is concerned, came over in 1919. And even though we are a very small part of the Muslim community, we number just about 15 million worldwide. But nevertheless, by the grace of God, we have been the first to build a mosque in the United Kingdom, and that was inaugurated in 1924. We have built many more mosques, including the largest mosque in Morden, called Baitul Futuh, which can take in approximately 4,000 worshippers. We do a tremendous amount of humanitarian work around the world, and every community is locally given the task. We as individuals turn around and say that in order for you to practice your faith, you must do both things, which is to give your duty to God, which is prayers, which is asking Him for all the help that you need. And then, on the other hand, your duty to mankind and the environment. So that leads us into helping all charity organizations, all our neighbors and the neighborhood in which we live, street cleaning, for example, things of that nature, and to set up a dialogue to ensure that there is peace and harmony within all faith groups. That is our major task, to explain what Islam is all about, how we fit in, and how Islam views, if you like, other faiths, and especially the founders of those faiths. So our relationship actually started in the United Kingdom with the letter written by the promised Messiah to Queen Victoria in praising her for the rule of India, because the community was founded in Qadian in India, which is a very small town. It was unknown until that time, but nevertheless, he wrote a letter on the Golden Jubilee of Queen Victoria, congratulating her, praying for her a long and healthy life, and for the fact that there was freedom of religion and freedom of expression, which was brilliant.
Well said on that part. Sorry to cut in, Khaleel. I'm just conscious that Mr. Miyan wants to come in as well. At one point he indicated, and I didn't want to stop you because I was enthralled by the story and the history. But I'm conscious that I want to make sure everybody gets a chance.
Yeah. Amir Saab?
Okay, actually, I just a small correction. Our first missionary came actually in 1913 from Qadian, and he was based in London Mosque, which was first public mosque, which Khaleel Miyan mentioned, and it was actually the money was donated by the women of India in those days, which was maybe a few pennies here and a few paisa there. So it was fully financed by the women of India. The first possible mosque, which is called London Mosque or a Fazal Mosque, which is in Putney. And we have around, as he said, over 10 million people in the world, mostly Pakistan, Western Africa, Sierra Leone, and Indonesia, and which has our largest communities, large area, Ghana, Sierra Leone, and other parts of the African countries. We have a strong presence in UK. We are over 35,000 people in this, and over 135 branches, and over 50 mosques in UK. We also have a very big community in Germany, Canada, USA, and Australia. And we, under the leadership of this Khalifa, we have nearly built 16,000 mosques, 1,600 schools, and 30 hospitals throughout the world, which are serving the humanity.
Excellent. Can I just pick up then? I think that's quite a nice tie into our next question. He talks about building hospitals. We can't really do a single one of these interviews without mentioning the current pandemic, which has devastated the lives of the entire population of this planet.
Mm-hmm.
During the pandemic, what has the community done internally and externally for the welfare of the human race, particularly for Croydon, but for the wider population as well?
Okay, we as a community actually had always served as care for people and the communities that we reside in. We have always supported not only our own members, but the vulnerable people who require support in collaboration with the charities such as AIDS UK and Macmillan, as well as many others. During this pandemic, our members have carried out shopping duties for those who were unable to do themselves and who are suffering from food shortages, especially during this first lockdown. This was done alongside setting up food banks with a particular focus on feeding homeless individuals. With our food banks receiving national coverage on ITV recently.
Yes, I saw that.
Within the pardon?
I saw that.
Yeah, within the UK, we distributed packed meals to frontline staff, especially the Mayday Hospital, police stations, fire brigade, and this was predominantly done by our own community, paid by our own community, and distributed by our own community. Recently, when the Dover lockdown, we distributed roughly 6,000 packed meal to the lorry drivers and the passengers who were traveling through Dover, which was stranded in. On the international stage, I am proud to say that we have provided 10 million meals to families and communities around the world. So the hard work of our members, we were able to create mosques for the frontline staff and vulnerable people. We also provided one reusable mask to each member of our community, which was made by our own community and paid by our own community. This went alongside a much larger international program, which provided 296,000 PPE and sanitization packs, help support for 151 hospitals and 777,000 beneficiaries was assisted.
Okay, I mean, I can pick up on the specifics. Obviously, there's such a wide range of things that you talked about then, and the community's done PPE, the food banks, and just being there for people emotionally and practically is
well, if I can
impossible
just
to
put in there.
Yes, cool.
When it comes to vulnerabilities, etc., our duties to our neighborhood is very essential and specific. And it's not the neighbor just next door. It's basically the whole street in which we live, yes, and maybe even the wider community. So we're doing everything in terms of that humanitarian help, whether it is actually cooking a meal and giving it to that individual, or doing their shopping, as Zafar Saib has said, or even writing a letter to the council or to the MP if they need help.
I think
So
that's a good
everything
point,
is-
picking up on that. That's a theme that I found has started to develop through all of these conversations from that I've been having since I set the channel up, is about that renewed community spirit that we've seen around the world. But I think it from people, there was a case of the fact that people had drifted away from knowing their own neighbours as well. But there were organisations like yours, which really, long before anyone dreamt about this scenario of COVID, which I saw were trying to achieve that, well, where everybody stood up for their neighbour, where they helped people just because that's the right thing to do. And I think I would really draw on the fact that that was such a example which really helped spearhead Croydon's response.
Mm-hmm.
I've said a few times how proud of Croydon I am. We really should be held up as the gold standard in the way that we responded as a community to this tragedy that is COVID.
Yeah.
No,
absolutely.
I think that's because we've got people like you to set that example.
No, the thing is, you see, everything that we do is first and foremost to win the pleasure of Almighty God. Okay? It is directed by our worldwide head, who actually resides in the UK in Surrey. We've created a little virtual town or village, if you like, called Islamabad, where he resides. And it is phenomenal when one goes to see it. But everything that we do, as the Sahib has said, is on a voluntary basis. All contributions come from the community themselves. And we do the very, very best that we possibly can. And it isn't, oh, we're just going to help Muslims. No, we help anybody and everybody, faith or no faith at all. It doesn't matter.
Well, I pick on that. You've been a great help to me. I don't think I've made any secret of the fact that from becoming mayor of your hometown is an incredibly daunting experience. And when I was deputy mayor, I felt like a rabbit in the headlights when I first turned up to your big Eid celebrations. So it was wonderful to be able to have someone that would just put their arm around me, but also challenge me. One of these days I will get you back for the what can we do about knife crime to question without any warning in front of 300 people. It was incredible. It really was, to know that there was someone had your back. I know people do have your back. I mean, I've been really fortunate by having an amazing number of people that have been supportive, and my own team at the starting point for that. But it really was a incredible experience to have such a welcome and such a strong feeling of support in my first ever event I was speaking at. And we've become friends on the back of that, me and Khaleel. I have missed you through all of this last year.
No, absolutely. I've truly missed seeing you, being with you, and it was wonderful to have you come along at our symbolic charity walk for peace event a few months ago. All these things are to highlight that community spirit, that sense of giving, that sense of, if you like, we're all in it together. And you truly symbolized all of that with your wonderful words on that occasion. So thank you.
But it was very heartfelt. From saying it, as I said, it stuck with me and has been very influential in everything I've done since. In fact, we mentioned a moment ago about the work you're doing on food banks. one of the projects that I undertook from after being made mayor was that I've done a tour of all the food banks, or any food bank that would have me. And I would be ashamed if some of the things I learned and saw during those visits aren't with me till the day I die. So people that were doing it on the front line day after day, like you guys were, I don't know how you managed to keep going sometimes. So you can see I'm getting emotional even thinking about it now. I still do. But it does take us quite neatly onto the third question that we've talk about, which is about your humanitarian work generally. Do you want to look at it on a local, national, international level? I know we've briefly touched on it, but it might be worth just expanding on the work the community does.
On the humanitarian work locally, it is about offering assistance to some of our well-known charities in Croydon, for example. So to name a few, Age UK, Croydon, we've been working with them. They asked for our help to deliver food parcels to the elderly that they knew about. So they didn't have the manpower or the cars, and our people went along to help. I have to say, the majority of these things during the pandemic have been done by our, if you like, up and coming individuals that we call the Khudam. So they're aged between 15 and 40. We have 4 tiers, no, or 5 actually. So within our community, we have the Itfal, which is 0 to 15 years of age, Khudam, 15 to 40, Ansar, which is me, old and decrepit, so
Don't
40
say that.
upwards, 40 and upwards. And then on the ladies' side, you have Nasrat between 0 and 15, and then Lajna between 15 onwards. And all of these separate groups actually, in a sense, have that competitiveness to see who can do the most for the communities, for develop relationships, etc., etc. So they are the ones that have stepped forward, the Khudam, between 15 and 40, to actually help out in those deliveries and things for Age UK Croydon. So we've been working with Mind in Croydon, the Samaritans, Croydon Vision, Wycliffe Foundation, St. Christopher's Hospice, where
Very close to my heart, as you know.
yeah, where once again we delivered food, face masks, and virtually every year we've given them a donation as well. Samaritans, we always give them a donation. Age UK, we give a donation. I don't know whether you've heard of the organization Acorns to Oaks.
Yes,
Run by Jenny Jones.
I very much have, but I think our listeners would be very keen to hear a little bit more detail. I had the opportunity of having connection with them a little while ago.
Yeah, well, they're a group that is involved in lots of community work, especially involving youngsters and their development and those people that are in need. So I get invited to all sorts of things, whether it is, doing something for specifically for the disabled or visually impaired youngsters or things of that nature. And there are various groups within Acorns to Oaks, which highlight what their programs are on the day. And of course, the Royal British Legion, as you are well aware, I think you came along last year where we
very much I did. That was going to be my next kind of comment on this, was what you did with the Royal British Legion.
Yeah, but even this year, this year, because of the pandemic, we haven't actually gone out to raise monies for other charity organizations, because we believe that they do fantastic work. And to support them is a really valuable task. Um, but so we've had to turn around and say sorry to all of those charity organizations this year. But nevertheless, on an individual basis, people have raised monies for various charities. And from myself, for example, with the help of Tesco's in Croydon, in Streatham, I managed to raise £2,300 for the Poppy Appeal, and gave that to the Royal British Legion. Um, Salvation Army, we're always giving lots of clothes and pushchairs and various things of that nature to them for the refugee population that
Yes.
they work closely with. And the Rotary Club, which is very interesting because they didn't want to know us for quite some time. And then we got together and they came along to one or two of our meetings. Um, and, you know, basically we can't get enough of each other. We work
Sure.
very well
Sure.
together. Um, so we're providing meals for the homeless, as Zafar said. All our and those meals are for the frontline staff, as well as the police, ambulance services, etc. In normal years, we also do a lot of visiting to the sick and elderly in hospitals and in care homes. I do believe actually that we were the ones that initiated going along with children, little children, so that they could talk to the elderly. And that was taken up very well on a nationwide basis.
Yes.
So I'm very proud of that. So we've distributed once again face masks. These were made by the Lajna, so ladies from 15 years onwards, to hospitals and charities. We've also had um, uh, the local charity walks for peace.
Yes, I was going to come on to this,
Yeah.
the work you do on that front. And it's the one and only time that I've had the pleasure of actually seeing you in person since the pandemic hit.
Yeah, that's right. So all of those activities have been carried out, not just in Croydon, but in all boroughs, if you like. But I am delighted to say that we were the only ones with your love for our community that you came along to that charity walk event, even though it was symbolic. That was brilliant. Absolutely.
We want to just let our from listeners and viewers know a little bit more about what that actually is. And obviously, I'd like to talk about it, but I think it'd be better from you. Unless you want me to kind of explain my reason for being so attached to that particular event of all the things we've organised.
It started off many years ago by our fourth caliph, Hazrat Mirza Tahir Ahmad. He decided that we needed to do more in terms of lifting the profile not only of our community, but what we do charity-wise. So in the beginning, first year, I think we raised £300. Now, every year we raise in excess of £1.5 million through the charity.
Serious money for everybody. Serious money. These people are managed to raise.
And we distribute that money. Whatever money is raised in the UK is given to UK charities, including our own charities, which I'll talk about later. So I think, Amir Saab, can you help in that score? How many charities have we helped? I think it's something like 900 odd charities throughout the UK. In the Croydon area, I think we've helped something like 53 charities.
Including the Mayor's charity historically, which
yes,
my predecessors are infinitely grateful for.
We actually have been giving money to not only local charities, but charities like Great Ormond Street Hospital, St. Christopher. We started giving money recently, and also Macmillan, as Khaleel mentioned, Samaritans, UK Heart Foundation, and Cancer Research. And we also give money. We, a couple of years ago, 3-4 years ago, when I was actually part of this giving money, because I was in charge of the spending of the charity money. We gave £500 to each mayor in the UK, £500 to mayor's charity. And when Tony left, I think she was the mayor then. And we gave money to local charities, and every mayor was given £500. And we also collected money from mayor's charity going to Crystal Palace Football Club.
Yeah, the Palace to Life Foundation, another group and organisation very close to my heart.
And so also collect money for the mayor's charity in town centres in Croydon.
You can see why I am so very fond of these people, everybody. From the work they do, actually, they're getting a list, but I think they're being quite modest from the influence that they've made. And it does particularly help in my own passion, because almost everything they speak of are subjects that just sing to me and are incredibly close to my heart. The St. Christopher's, Great Ormond Street. From regular viewers or anyone who knows me will know that my passion in life is children and young people. From everything that I am is about creating a better world for the next generation. I said when I was made mayor that I genuinely do believe that society should be judged by the way it treats its children.
Absolutely.
Okay, coming to your next question, part of your question was internationally, you said, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yeah. We did talk. Go ahead.
We have our own charity, which is called Humanity First, which was set up by our fourth Khalifa. In 1995, it was established during the Balkan crisis, and we provided essential supplies to the victims of conflict. Today, we have expanded Humanity First operations to over 55 countries around the world. The operation of Humanity First are made possible through experienced teams of doctors, engineers, disaster responders, and many more. The charity was given the immense opportunity to work alongside other organizations such as United Nations. In Indonesia, actually, United Nations authorized us to be their agent and help in tsunami in 2011 when the tsunami came to Indonesia. A charity only funded by the members of the community. We pride ourselves not to take a single penny from any other source. All this money comes from our own donations. Our members pay for that, and they put their hands deep into their pockets and give money to charity. And here are some more examples of what the Humanity First does. We have set up 2,860 water wells in sub-Saharan Africa and part of India and Pakistan, with the shortage of water, clean water. The charities provide operations in Africa and India, Pakistan. We have provided cataract operations, 28,000 cataract operations for people in poor part of the countries. We have built 34 schools in poor part of the countries to educate people. Charity has assisted 170,000 people in disaster-stricken countries, and we were the first organization to went to Kobe in Japan when the disaster came there and tsunami came there in 2001.
Terrible
Another
day.
organization created by us is the International Association of Ahmadi Architects and Engineers, which is IAAE for short. The primary uh, primary aim of the IAAE is to provide development support to poorest areas of the world. This was established in 1980 by the third Khalifa, Mirza Nasir Ahmad, may God be pleased with him. The current Khalifa established subcommittees to carry out the aspirations of the organization. IAAE provide water for life. This is separately from Humanity First. They provide water wells and water pumps to remote part of Africa. Alternate energy, we provide solar panels in the villages where they have no electricity and power. Model village, IAAE create villages which has fully run dispensary, school, a mosque, and a proper village with the roads and everything, with the clean water running. And charity currently have 2 new hospitals planned.
If I can say, in Guatemala last year, we
2 years ago.
put in the Masroor Eye Institute. So not only is it going to be there and Burkina Faso, so not only is it going to be an eye hospital, but it is also going to be an institute of learning. So doctors, nurses will be trained over there. And again, to start off with, they are fully manned by Ahmadiyya volunteers. Coming back to the national level, we've always been there on the front line of any kind of disaster and whatever else. So we've been involved in the cleanup after the Croydon and Tottenham riots and helped the Grenfell Tower fire. We were one of the first responders over there. The flooded areas in the UK, we've been one of the first responders there. The terror attacks in the UK over London Bridge, etc. We were one of the first to respond in any which way that we possibly can. So
I'd like to particularly draw our listeners to that point. When you see, tragically, when you do what the news of a tragedy in Croydon, or nationally or internationally, you can bet your bottom dollar, if you look, you will see examples of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association right there on the front line, helping in every way they possibly can. I can't get enough of the work of you guys. I really can't.
Well, what is astounding, and it is only by the grace of God and the leadership of our Khilafat, that when you look at us, as I said, we are between 10 and 15 million people worldwide. We are a tiny, tiny minority of the Muslim world, if you like, yet we lead in all of these efforts throughout the world. There is no other Muslim organization that comes anywhere near. And we are very, very proud of that particular fact. And it is all volunteer.
I'm right, you should be. I'm proud of you as the mayor. I'm going to have to bring us back. I'm conscious of time to the kind of previous questions. And one of the areas that we said we're going to talk about is your relationship with Croydon Council. I've said how much I value your work and the connection we've had as mayor, but how have you found your relationship with the wider council and other Croydon-based community organisations?
Well, I'll allow Amir Saab to say a few words on that, because he has more to do with the workings of the council. But I get along with you. I don't like you, but I I get along with you. Amisa?
I believe we have very good productive relationship both with the Croydon and Council and the local charities and the local communities. We regularly complete street cleaning of local areas around Croydon town center. As you are aware, every New Year Day, our young men and old, like me, go to attack Croydon town center with the brooms and with the cleaning bags. We have done it. This year we couldn't do it because of the pandemic, but over the last few years we have been doing it with the help of with the cooperation of the Croydon Council. We always clean the streets. We always have done spring cleaning as well around our mosque and general area. And also our senior members have always attended. I myself have attended Remembrance Sunday services in the church and in the Senate of. We always laid a wreath prepared by our community in the Senate of. This year we couldn't do it, but I was the only community leader who actually took part in the video you made and remembering. Remembering the Remembrance Sunday.
Yes.
I was the only leader who took part actually. And we annually invite civic leaders to mosque. Mayors have been to our mosque regularly. Police commanders, fire brigade, and police Sergeant Ratana actually got, we're pleased with him. He was our good friend and visited our mosque regularly actually. And he always walked in within his bike. And one day he came and said, "Can I have a copy of the Holy Quran?" Which I and Imam Raza Sahab gave it to him. And I have a picture also to celebrate that. And we really miss him. He was a wonderful person.
He was
a wonderful person. Yeah, we always have a interface relationship with other communities like Sikhs and Hindus and Buddhists and other communities. And we have local civic leaders have visited mosque. I remember a couple of years ago when there was a New Zealand attack, council leader along with another councillor, Miyan Kabir, came to visit us.
My wonderful predecessor and the man that taught me how to do this job.
Yeah. He was he came to a mosque to visit us. He's
currently unwell with COVID, so we wish him the very best and hope he recovers very soon.
Yeah, hope he could recover soon. So, put it in a nutshell that we have a very good relationship with the Croydon Council. Last year, during the Ramadan, when we asked for to be azan, which is a call for prayer, in Ramadan last 2 days, and Croydon Council very graciously allowed us to do that, and I was really touched by the comments which was put on the internet by the Croydon Council that we are helping humanity in Croydon. So we should be given this chance to say call for prayer for 2 days, which we did. Thank you very much, Croydon Council. Thank you.
I'd like to say
it's true. You guys really make a difference in Croydon. You really do. I cannot emphasize that enough to our listeners.
I'd just like to make a comment also that we've been working very closely ever since we established our mosque at St. James's Road, Betus Ehsan. So when Tuscalolo, I think, was the first mayor to come along to to our mosque, and then Tony Letts, etc., and your good self. Some of the meetings that we hold or that I've held have been with counselors and with other multi-faith groups, um, others with police discussing things like knife crime, keeping Croydon clean initiatives and planting trees, a cross-party effort involving MP Steve Reed as well.
Yes.
And one of our ladies in particular, Bushra Ahmed, I'm sure you know of her.
Bushra's on my fundraising committee.
Yeah, exactly. So she has worked with all the mayors over the last 10 years, I think,
Yes,
in their
my life.
fundraising charities. And she was also the one to help create the Broad Green Village area and make it into a village area. As said previously, we have good associations with various charities, normally St. Christopher's Hospice,
One of
HBK.
I'll
Sorry?
particularly bring up the St. Christopher's Point from as one of my 3 chosen charities for the year.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So,
St. Christopher's is very close to my heart, very close.
No, absolutely. I've had many friends who not only have I taken over there, but they've helped them through the last stages of their life. It has been very sad, but very comforting also.
Yes.
So I work very closely with them.
I didn't know you had a connection with them. We'll talk about that separately from this.
Yeah. So we've exchanged. The good thing about building these relationships, I think at the end, if I may say, is the fact that whenever terrible things happen, like the terror attack in New Zealand, and I got messages from the charity organizations, from the police, from other faith communities to express their sorrow and condolences at what had happened. And in the same vein, when the terror attacks occurred in Sri Lanka, I was giving my condolences and sympathies to the church leadership as well as other organizations. So I think that that bond of friendship grows even more when you are aware that these things do affect and have an impact. And if we can show genuine human sympathy to each other, and it is genuine, as, from my part, most certainly it is genuine, then you create that bond through love.
Yes, I think that's so right. Now, I'm going to surprise you both a little bit. Regular viewers will know I always finish these interviews from the same way, which is my favourite bit of it, and it's from idea that I have is an homage, shall we say, to one of my favourite podcasts, where I shut up. And I leave the last word to my guests to talk about whatever they want. I'll leave it to both of you how you want to ration that time. We've got 8 minutes left. No, sorry, 6 minutes left now. Just to talk about whatever you would like to talk about.
Yes, I have to go first.
Oh, okay. Well, what I'd like to talk about is the fact that our motto, our flag that you have seen and everybody recognizes, love for all, hatred for none, was inspired by the third Caliph of our community. And it is a wonderful gesture. Prior to that, we were known for wearing rings which say, Alaysa Allahu biqafin abdahu, which means, isn't God enough for you? So in times of trial and tribulation, whether it is a self-trial the pandemic, people in stress, the message that we try and give is that God loves, He cares. His message to mankind has been and always consistently has been through his messengers, because we believe them to be all messengers, whether it is Jesus, Krishna, Moses, Abraham, etc. May God's peace be on them all. That their message came from God, and they gave man and society that target to go down, to recognize God, to recognize their duty to the Almighty, and to do the best that they possibly can. We, as far as the Ahmadiyya community is concerned, go one stage further, and we stamp on the fact that going to the mosque and doing your duty, i.e. worshipping God Almighty, is not enough. It is only a small part of faith. If you do not commit yourself to helping your neighbor, your community, your environment, because these are the treasures that God Almighty has given you to look after. If you do not do that, then your faith is worthless. Indeed, the promised Messiah turned around and said so, that without that, your faith is hollow. It is only a smoke screen, as it were. And I believe in that very, very firmly. My relationships that I build, like with yourself, Maddie, if I may call you that,
Absolutely, 100% always.
is the fact that, first and foremost, I love with all my heart. And whatever I can do in terms of helping you, helping anybody, whether it's a neighbor or whatever, I do it with all my heart. And it is based on winning the pleasure of Almighty God, nothing else. I don't want to be recognized. I mean, Humayun Kabir gave me a certificate of recognition for helping him and working with him, and I turned around and said, I'm just a humble servant of the community. Yeah, you know, thank you very much, but the honor should go to the whole community, not me. So that's where I am. Amir Saab, please.
Yeah, you have given me only 1 minute left. Thank you, please, sir. But keep on and on and on. Yeah,
I'm
thank
sorry.
you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Madam Mayor, for giving us the chance, giving me the chance actually to put our case on the board. And I'm very grateful to you and your staff for, you know, putting our message across to the wider world. And we have as I said, we have very good relationship with the Croydon Council, but we look forward to not only building on these existing relationship, but also establishing new productive relationship with your other organizations and Croydon Council. As we are non-partisan, we have a very good working relationship with Chris Phillip as well, although he is opposite side of your party. But I have a very good relationship with Chris Phillip, Sarah Jones, and Steve Reed, obviously being my MP. And thank you very much. God bless you. Keep you safe in this pandemic, and keep everybody safe in this pandemic. We have all prayers for you. This is the best we can do. Is there anything else you need, please do not hesitate to get in touch with me, because I am representing my community in this South region. So please, if you have any need for anything or you need our help, please let us know. And God bless you and your family.
Thank you all. Thank you both, and thank you all the viewers. And Pram, I think that's a really, really powerful message to leave it on. This can be a time when we all feel isolated. We're all doing the right thing. We're staying home. We're staying away from loved ones for their protection and our own. But you're not alone. Their society has got a lot of people like these amazing people I've been interviewing today that are desperately want to help. If you're feeling alone, if you need something, if you're isolating and you haven't got basic essentials, if you just want a friend to talk to, the support is there. Please, please reach out. We will always all be there. Thank you. Happy New Year again, everybody. Stay safe, and believe me, we will be together again. Thank you all.
Inshallah.
Thank
God
you.
willing,
Thank you.
as we say.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.